Deadpool and Wolverine team up in the all-new MCU film, so today let's rank all the Deadpool and Wolverine films from worst to best. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that notification for more up and coming content. Just a heads up for this list, I am not including the X-Men movies. I'm solely focused on films that have Deadpool or Wolverine in the title. So even though Wolverine did play a big part in the X-Men films, I'm not including those films, strictly the Deadpool films and the 3 Wolverine films. Coming in last place, Men Origins Wolverine. I remember seeing this in theaters and being so excited for it. The idea of having a solo Wolverine film exploring his past, having New Mutants in here, it got me hyped to see this film. Unfortunately, it is a mess. This is a film that doesn't have a really thought out story. It doesn't have enough development for Logan to make it feel like it's emotional, what he has gone through throughout all these years. Even the action itself is poorly directed. And what they did with Deadpool, still to this day, is one of the worst things in a Marvel film.
It's a shame. Just a shame.
But when you look at the overall story, it's quite simple. And they try to do a lot with it, with different mutants coming into it, like Gambit. And they even mess up some of the timeline with having some younger X-Men characters introduced into the film. But this is a poor looking X-Men film, and they had this big idea of doing these origin films, and it did not pay off with this movie. Coming in 5th place, the Wolverine. Pretty much from 5 to 1, these are great films. I enjoy all of them. So the only one that I really do not like is X-Men Origins Wolverine. So 5 through 1, these are really good films. Going into the Wolverine in 2013, I wasn't that excited for it, honestly. I didn't have a lot of anticipation for it because of X-Men Origins Wolverine. And when I walked out of the theater seeing this film, it was a huge surprise. I loved that movie and how grittier it was compared to X-Men Origins Wolverine. It felt more grounded and a smaller approach for Logan. And where he is at in his life, his powers have these consequences, and him constantly being able to heal himself, watching people around him die as he continues to live, that's a burden for him. That's a very personal story for him. I think that they did a great job executing that in here. Paired that with some really good action from Logan, some intense scenes along the way. I really like the setting for this film, very different from your typical Marvel film. A much smaller, grounded approach led to a more deeper personal story for Logan, and to this day, it's a huge surprise coming off of X-Men Origins Wolverine. Coming in 4th place, Deadpool 2. I like that they had Wade Wilson learn what it takes to be part of a team. The whole first movie, he did not want to work alongside the 2 X-Men characters in there, but he appreciated being part of a team. And then creating the X-Force and having all of the other characters die pretty quickly was very entertaining, but I like the storyline of him learning to be part of a team. And then you have Cable in here, which was really cool, played by Josh Brolin. There's some really exciting moments. The comedy still works from Deadpool. The action, the blood, it's there. They understand the character of Deadpool and having him just make jokes of everything left and right. But I like that storyline in here of him being the hero, and there's a few moments in someone's life where they can be that hero, and him protecting this young boy that's going through a lot and eventually will lead to destruction, and that's where Cable comes in. Seeing how he's able to navigate that relationship and try to talk to him on a one-on-one level allows for him to be that hero in a much smaller way. So I like the overall storyline in here. At times it takes on a little bit too much and feels a little bit long. The jokes, the action work, and it's got a good story for Wade Wilson. Coming in 3rd place, Deadpool. I never thought this was going to happen. We had that abomination in X-Men Origins Wolverine played by Ryan Reynolds, so it seemed like the time for him was over. But a lot of people wanted a Deadpool film, and we got one of the highest grossing R-rated films, and Deadpool was a huge surprise. I love the comedy from Deadpool. breaking that fourth wall. The action's great, but these films have a lot of heart to it. Yes, he's making jokes constantly, but they're able to approach the emotional side to it in a very sincere way. It never feels gimmicky. It never feels forced. His relationship with Vanessa fuels him and makes him want to do something good. That first film is a great origin film, going back and forth between the current timeline of the film and then when he gained his powers and leading up to where he was in the beginning of the film. It jumbles the storyline around to give you the more action-packed scenes kind of like in the middle half of the film and more of the dramatic scenes kind of sprinkled throughout the movie. But it's got a nice pace to it to where you get that origin vibe to it, but also enough depth for this character. Coming in second place, Deadpool and Wolverine, the latest film in the MCU. This was a blast. Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, they have dynamite chemistry. They have a relationship that they have to work at. This isn't the Wolverine from all of the Fox films. This is a different variant that has let down his team. All of the X-Men characters have died. He has to live with that. He regrets it, and it's a chance for him to become that Wolverine character that we know in the comics, the animated series, the character that believes in the team, even if he goes about it in kind of the wrong way at times. He's a character that we root for and we absolutely love. A lot of fourth wall breaking, a lot of cameos that felt earned and just weren't wasted cameos. He had a lot of exciting, crowd-pleasing moments that I loved. The action's there, the soundtrack is in your face, it is intense, it is a lot of fun. But you have a lot of heart to it as well. Looking at Wade Wilson, what is most important to him? All the characters that were introduced from Deadpool and Deadpool 2, those are characters that he loves and wants to protect. And you have a lot of urgency with Cassandra Nova and the timeline that Wade Wilson lives in, and he has to protect the world and everybody that he loves. And he has to team up with Wolverine. It's very fun. It's one of the coolest MCU films and one of the best Deadpool and Wolverine films. I love that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds just had an absolute blast working together, and it really did show within this movie. But coming in first place, Logan. This is one of the best Marvel films, one of the best superhero films. It is a much more grittier, grounded, very personal approach, R-rated movie for Wolverine that is a fitting end to that Wolverine, that variant, that timeline for the Fox universe. It's a film unlike any other superhero film. All the MCU films and DC films, some of just feel a little too campy or very bright and action-packed and a lot of jokes. This film said, we're going to disregard all of that and just solely focus on Wolverine and have a struggle for him and how can he overcome all of that. Having X-23 within the film brought out a different side to Wolverine that added so much depth. It's emotional throughout most of the film, especially the end, realizing what it actually takes to be a hero. It's a very strong storyline in here. I love that they took it and went R-rated with it. There's nothing holding back this film. It's one of the best Marvel and superhero films. I love this film for how deep the story is for Logan. The performance from Hugh Jackman is very good. I remember seeing it in theaters and thinking that we're never going to get something else like this again for a character that Hugh Jackman has played for so long. It was a great way to send off that character. But Logan, I love it, and it's a well-received superhero film. And I like seeing Hugh Jackman again, and I'm really happy that it's a different variant, not the same one that had died and they brought him back to life. It's a different version. I think that is a smart way to bring Hugh Jackman back into the films. So there you guys have it, all 6 Deadpool and Wolverine films ranked worst to best. How would you rank them? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Wanted Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.